On the repair bench today, we've got a fender made in Japan, Strat, that our customer has asked us to modify with the FSC vintage conversion spoke wheel truss rod adjustment nut. As you know, these have a vintage style truss rod adjustment nut, which are difficult to adjust. You have to remove the neck, make the adjustment, put the neck back down, retune, and sometimes you have to do that several times to really get it dialed in. Once the FSC guitar's vintage conversion spoke wheel truss rod adjustment nut is installed, you'll never have to remove the neck on this guitar again to make a truss rod adjustment. These have a 1032 vintage spec thread and will work with vintage style truss rods at the heel. First thing we do is remove the original vintage style truss rod adjustment nut. You simply unscrew these and pull them out. Now we're going to measure inside the truss rod adjustment nut clearance. The FSC spoke wheel truss rod adjustment nuts have a shaft length of 0.75 inches. We like to take calipers, flush them up against a flat surface, push them all the way down, and clear out any numbers there. Zero them out on the flattest surface when the caliper is fully down. And now we're ready to measure at the heel of the neck. Let's measure inside the truss rod adjustment nut clearance now for this guitar. Push the caliper all the way down. This is more than an inch, so we're going to have to add some extension washers to our truss rod adjustment nut. We're going to take these custom sized and custom cut stainless steel spacer washers and add them to the top of the truss rod adjustment nut, giving us the length that we need. We might have to use 4 or 5 of them in this case. The washers are now loaded onto the end of the screwdriver flathead. We just touch it to the end of the truss rod and slide them in place. Again, these are custom sized to work. These are not hardware store washers. They're now installed. You can see them in there, and we're ready to screw on the wheel. With the wheel now installed, we're going to have to create a clearance in the pickguard area and into the very end of the neck pocket in the body. We're going to cut that area so the neck can sit flush and the wheel has clearance. Here we are after a quick trip to the router. Now the neck can sit flush and everything is installed. Now you'll never have to remove the neck again on this guitar to make simple truss rod adjustments. Order yours now at fscguitars.com.